Hi guys, welcome to another video, and today is going to be my Tori Amos collection part 4. Yeah, part 4. I didn't think I'd come this far, but I have, and a lot of this stuff is the stuff I picked up since last year when part 3 was filmed. And a lot of stuff has been bought since then, a lot of more rarer stuff, stuff you don't find anywhere really, some of these things. So I'm really lucky to have found them over the year. Some vinyls as well, which of course are essential, especially if you're a Tori Amos fan. But we'll get started with the CDs as usual first. And the first one is a promo single. It's of Strange Little Girl. And yeah, it's definitely a promo because there isn't even a barcode on this. The only annoying thing about this single is I would have much preferred to have had I think it's the US version, and it has 2 original B-sides on it. Well, 2 cover versions. One is, I think, is a David Bowie cover, and another cover by a man. But they weren't on the Strange Little Girls album, so it would have been great to have had them. But I've found a copy and a few copies of it on the internet, but they're just so expensive for a single. So for now, I might just download them off iTunes and put it onto my iPod folder. But I've got a promo single. It's just got Strange Little Girl and 97 Bonnie and Clyde, which is already on the album, but nice artwork nonetheless. Next is another CD single. I think this is CD number 2 of A Sort of Fairy Tale. A better single than the first one, because the first single of this only had the 1 track on it, but on it it's got some B-sides, the 101 mix, Operation Peter Pan, original single version, and A Scarlet Story. So it has, it's a bit more interesting than the original A Sort of Fairy Tale single, and I recommend you get this one. Next is A Thousand Oceans. I had a single of this before, this song, but it was in like a cardboard sleeve, and it was really battered when it arrived because I bought it online. And I vowed that I'd get a dual case version, and I did last year. And this is even better than the cardboard one, because it's got an extra track on here, a live version of Winter, non-LP version it says, and it's definitely one of Tori Amos' best ballads ever. Just amazing song. Next is Spark, and this is CD 2. Again, another great single. If you've got the first Spark, you might as well get this one as well, because it's got 2 great B-sides, Do It Again and Cooling. And lovely artwork. I just love the whole Girl Hotel Eva artwork. It's just so unique, mysterious, and I love Tori Amos to release artwork like this again one day. It would just be so inspiring. And this copy had 3 postcards in, which was nice, as it originally included back in 1998. Although if you do buy it second hand, there's no guarantee that the postcards will be in there unless the seller actually says. So just a pre-warning. So nice little addition, and it's a great single. Next is God, and this is CD 5 maxi single. It's on inside this plastic opening tray case, but I do really like this because it's in good condition, and it's like a white case, and it fits in with the whole black and white feel of the photograph, and it's got a nice etching shiny font, if you can see there. And it's got some good B-sides on there as well. Home of the Range, All the Girls Hate Her, and Over It, not available on LP it says. So essential, and it was a good price. And now we move on to the only 2 albums. It's the reissues of Little Earthquakes and Under the Pink, which came out earlier this year. Great. They're coming down in price as well, I've noticed on the internet. So if you're new to Tori Amos and you love her, I'd suggest getting these, because if you love B-sides as well, it includes it. Good booklets as well, with information about the making of the albums and everything. The only thing is that I wish it was just a bit more better made. If you see my unboxing of these, you'll see why. But they're still good nonetheless, and I hope they do more reissues. Next is a cheap item. It's not something that looks really attractive in my Tori Amos collection, but it was a good deal and it was Tori Amos, so I thought I'd get it. And it's a Tori Amos star profile. This is basically like an old audio CD documentary with a booklet. It's like very, very basic. I'm not sure, just, yeah, really, really cheap. It's so 90s, it's untrue. But it was good price, and if you see it anywhere at a very reasonable cost, and you love Tori Amos, pick it up because you just might like it. The CD is quite interesting. It's basically like a documentary of how she became famous, and it even has like a little bit of interview with her and the fans as well. So that's quite fun. And this was released in '97, so it was just before From the Quagga Hotel era. So yeah, that's a funny one. And the last box set of CDs is the original bootlegs, which is basically 6 live CDs from the Beekeeper tour. It's in this nice little funky box set. I paid quite a bit for this because it's quite rare now, and it's become even more rare, so grab it if you see it anywhere. The box is a little bit tatty on mine, but that's the way it is. But the CDs are very good themselves. Very, very good CDs. I've listened to them all a few times. I've got a couple of them on my iPod. The only thing is, sometimes you get confused over which is which, because on each performance, like tour, it's got a very similar track listing in some ways, especially like the opening track and everything. But if you just love all the songs, then pick it up, because just there's loads in here. So that's a nice little addition. And the very last CD related item is another box set, and it's the piano collection. And it's in this really, really nice box of actual piano keys. Obviously you can't play them, but it's just really, really good. I paid a good price for this as well. It's not as rare as the original bootlegs box set, and I really would only recommend getting this if you see it at a good price. Not if you see it expensive and you've already got the albums, because it's basically the first few albums together on these like little cheap trays. I'll just show you an example of one. So it's basically like this, and you open it, it's just very basic. Basically this is Little Earthquakes extended. All the tracks have Little Earthquakes and some B-sides, but not all the album tracks are on the other albums, like Boys of Pele, example, or From the Quagga Hotel. There's things missing, so if you want the whole complete thing, I suggest getting the actual albums and the singles. But if you just like it, you want something pretty to look in your collection, then this is the thing. Or if you're new to Tori Amos. But it's got a really nice wide hardback book, and it's a great biography, some glorious photos in here. It's very, very well made compared to that cheap star profile booklet I showed you a minute ago. Yeah, some pictures of Tori I've never even seen before. So that's a really worthy addition. So yeah, like I said, I only pick up if you're seeing it at a reasonable price, but I'm proud to have it. Next we'll move on to vinyls. Of course, I think the vinyls of this update are like the core of it. The first one is a very cheap one. It's not one that I play very much at all. I've only listened to it once, and it's the Raspberry Swirl Sticky Extended Instrumental and Sticky Extended Vocal Mix. I'm not a big fan of remixes at all, but it was Tori Amos, and I do like the artwork. It's very bright, and I do actually like Raspberries, and I do love the song. It's one of my favourites off the From Quagga Hotel album for sure. But of course it's not the original thing, it's just like remixes. But good price, and I thought I'd just get it. I always thought that Tori Amos' singles weren't very good on vinyl. There's only a select few, because it was when vinyl was going on a downfall and CD was a lot more popular. And now we move on to the albums. The first one is From the Quagga Hotel. This is like my pride and joy, along with Boys of Pele on vinyl. Absolutely beautiful. It costed a lot of money. Really look after it. I've only listened to this about 3 times, and I don't want to listen to it too much, only when I really, really feel like it. I really would like to see this get reissued as well, because I'm sure there's loads of fans out there who would love to have a copy of this on vinyl. This is just a single version. I know that this album has been released on a double vinyl, but unfortunately this is just a single, so it's not as good, and the quality is not as great. But it's still a great album, costing an arm and a leg, and it's a very, very worthy addition to my collection, and the artwork just looks even better, blown up. Next is American Doll Posse. I had this about a month now. Great album. I've been listening to this a lot more recently, and I've been getting, into the second half a lot more. Because I love the first half, but I never really gave the second half as much chance. But I've been listening to this a lot more on vinyl, and I'm loving it even more now, and it's great. And yeah, another great vinyl to add. And the last one is Night of Hunters, which I picked up very recently. I've listened to this once on vinyl. It just sounds absolutely epic, the classical sounds, and it's been brought to life on vinyl playback. Double vinyl as well, which is great, good quality, and the materials fantastic as well. Even though I do prefer Unrepentant Geraldines than this one, if I've got to be honest with you. But I'm glad that she kind of did this album. It's not my favourite genre at all, and I do prefer the more pop stuff she's done, and the rockier stuff, and even the electronica stuff. But I'm glad she tried something different. It's what she wanted to do, and I think she's just, gone back to the original roots with Unrepentant Geraldines, and hopefully the next album. And the last two items are two books. The first one is Tori Amos, All These Years. And I think there's two copies of this actual book. I think there's this one, and I think there was another one released a bit later on when Boys for Pele was released, because this was released just after Under the Pink in 1994. Nice artwork, absolutely gorgeous portrait of Tori there. It's basically like a biography, but of course it's very, very old, so it's not up to date. But lovely photos in here, some great information as well about Tori. I really enjoyed reading this actually, and a lot of photos from when she was in Why Can't Tori Read. I love that photo, even though I say that stuff is way better. And photos of her as a child. It's just everything. A great biography. Like I said, it's very old, but if you see it's at a good price, pick it up. And the very last one is a very thick book, and it's Tori Amos Collectibles. I don't spend much time reading or looking at this one as much. But again, I saw it on the internet, and I thought I just have to get it because it's probably just a nice book full of items that you can't even get hold of, which is true. And some of the stuff in here I just really, really want, but I'll never get it unless I'm a millionaire. And yeah, it's just loads and loads of stuff. Promos, things that weren't even released. Information about what's on each disc, singles, promotional items, just basically everything. And it only goes up to Boys for Pele, so it's only a small amount of items, even though there was more stuff released back then during the early albums. But a worthy edition as well. It's quite thick as well, so there's a lot to go through. It's just a nice item to have. And that is it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed part 4, and I really can't see part 5 happening anytime soon at all, because there's just that much. The only thing I'll be doing in future, Tori Amos wise, will be like maybe review, unboxing as well, because of course Light Princess comes out in October. Even though Tori Amos isn't on the album, but I'll probably still get it anyway because she's part of it. So that'll be the next thing, and of course any new albums that she releases in future, I'll definitely unbox them and everything like that, and any re-releases as well. But I thought I'd do an update because I think it was time for a catch-up of all the goodies I picked up since last year, part 3. So that's it, everyone. I hope you're having a good summer, and leave a comment if you want, and speak to you soon.